because you got Tatum there, and now Jaylen Brown is the legitimate second guy.
Yep.
There's no questions on who that second guy is. It's Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
And now Kemba kind of has to find his role on the team. If it means playing well on the defensive side of the ball, or just focusing more as being a playmaker, or focusing more as an off-ball threat. Kemba has to find that way to be effective other than being the second guy. Because look at everything that's happened over the past couple of years with Kemba Walker. He went from being the man in Charlotte to then being the second guy in Boston to now being the third guy, you know? And it's tough for him to find that role because he's never been in this position before. And now, let's not forget their third guy is on a max contract.
Oof.
So essentially, since the season began, there's been this vocal uproar of people that believe that we need to quote unquote free Bradley Beal as soon as possible and get him the hell out of Washington. As over the last 2 seasons, Beal has achieved career highs in his points per game and has solidified himself as one of the best scorers in this league today, but unfortunately it has not translated into the win column the way his numbers should suggest, as last year they did not make the playoffs, and currently as we speak at the recording of this video, they have the worst record in the NBA and are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So with all that being said, you would think that Bradley Beal would want to be out of his situation in Washington, but unfortunately, a report broke today that Bradley Beal has shot down the trade rumors and he wants to stay with the Wizards. And in this video, I'm going to break down why we need to stop feeling bad for Bradley Beal. That time is over. It's clear he wants to be in Washington, and all the pitying that we've done in the past, that needs to come to an end. But before I get started with this video, I know y'all saw the promo earlier on. Make sure you go and check out the latest episode of First Possession on Cryout TV. Drop a like, comment your opinions, and subscribe. Do not forget to put them on post notifications so you can be notified anytime we drop a banger episode. And also, do not forget to follow me on social media. My Twitter and Instagram handles are on the screen right about now. And last but not least, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you push that subscribe button and the bell for post notifications so you can join one of the best NBA YouTubers out there, me, myself, Young Mustard. But without further ado, enough of me praising myself. Let's get started with this video and discuss why I don't believe we should pity Bradley Beal. Last year, Beal had a career season with the Washington Wizards, as despite them missing the postseason and Beal being snubbed for an All-Star appearance, he had a career season across the board, as he averaged nearly 31 points per contest along with 6 assists, which were career highs for him, while on shooting splits that were rather efficient of 45 to 46% from the field, 35% from behind the arc on over 8 attempts per contest, and 84% at the free throw line. It really still blows my mind that Beal wasn't even an all-star that year, because we all knew he was never gonna make an all-NBA team. Because if you know anything about the way they vote, you know that they value winning as essentially the #1 form of criteria. So that was already out the window as soon as the season started essentially. So for him to not even get an all-star appearance, that essentially means it was a wasted season, because he didn't really get any real recognition other than fan support. No accolades or no real awards came with his season, a year that just went to waste, and the Washington Wizards absorbed it because they knew they were going to make money off of having a star in Bradley Beal. Because who else are fans going to pay money to watch? Rui Hachimura? Thomas Bryant? Yeah, I don't think so. But then this offseason came and we all thought their fortune had changed, as the Washington Wizards parted ways with John Wall via trade and they acquired Russell Westbrook. And me, similar to many others, believed that the Wizards put themselves back in playoff contention, and though they obviously weren't going to win a championship with that duo and that roster, let's just be quite honest here. If they were able to secure a 6th to 8th seed, that would have been enough to keep Bradley Beal happy and secure him in the future plans of the Washington Wizards in the long run. But unfortunately, that's not what happened, as the Wizards had the same problems as they had the year prior, and a lot of us fans kind of ignored it because we saw 2 all-star guards and we thought that they were going to be enough to carry this team in the playoffs in a weaker Eastern Conference. But when people say defense wins championships, it is not a joke. You need defense to be successful in the NBA, and it doesn't matter how great your offense is, it's only going to take you so far before you ultimately fail, as the Wizards currently are 3rd in points per game and 13th in offensive rating. Their offense is fine, but defensively, oh my goodness. As in the words of Bradley Beal, they cannot guard a parked car. As in defensive rating, they're 28th in the NBA, and when it comes to opponents' points per game, they're dead last. And to be honest, we should have expected this because they were a terrible defensive team last year, as they finished at the bottom in defensive rating and 29th in opponents' points per game. So we knew they were going to be a bad defensive team from the jump, but my goodness, it looks even worse than we even expected, and we expected it to be awful in the first place. They are at the bottom of the bottom, and I'm talking, this is one of the worst defensive teams I have ever seen in my entire life. And then to make matters worse, when Thomas Bryant went down, that didn't help anything. And we know he's not a great defender, but he is still a far better option at the big man instead of Robin Lopez. I don't even understand why Wagner didn't get the starting nod, because their defense is going to be trash anyways. Even if Lopez is an upgrade from Wagner and Bryant, you might as well just go all out at the 5 with the stretch big, and Wagner can space the floor. So that was a very questionable decision to me from Scott Brooks. And Beal is not off the hook when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, because he could definitely show more effort, but I understand with the load that he has on the offensive side of the ball, it's hard to show effort time in and time out when you're gassed from doing so much on the other end of the court. And that's why in the fourth quarters, they're at the bottom of the league in scoring margin, as Bradley Beal burns out time in and time out, game in and game out, because of the load that he has on the offensive side of the ball. And players like Davis Bertans are not helping him. Bertans was supposed to be a huge help this season, but he's still shooting below league average from 3, and after getting the contract that he got, that is unacceptable. He came in out of shape, and dude, you haven't played basketball in nearly half a year. Why are you looking out of shape? You didn't even play in the bubble, in which you guys went 0-8 in the first place, which is understandable because y'all suck. So Davis Bertans, he needs to get himself in shape, because this is unacceptable what I'm seeing from him this season. And combine those problems with Russell Westbrook simply being Russell Westbrook, turning the ball over time in and time out, taking bad shots, and also just being a knucklehead on the court with no sense of IQ whatsoever, then you have the situation that you have in Washington, in which they're 4-12 and at the bottom of the league. Meanwhile, in the midst of all of that, Bradley Beal is having a career season yet again that is resulting into nothing in the win column, as he currently leads the league in scoring, averaging nearly 35 points per contest, along with 5 assists and 5 rebounds, while shooting 48% from the field, 34% from behind the arc, and also shooting 89% at the free throw line. You would think with numbers like that and the results in the win and loss column looking the way that they are, that Beal would want out immediately. But to everyone's surprise, Beal is not looking for a trade. He wants to stick it out in Washington and build his legacy there. I don't know if he got hyped off of the game against Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets, in which Russell Westbrook had his best game of the season by far, but that should be a signal to everybody that we need to stop begging for him to be freed out of the hellhole known as the Washington Wizards organization. Because I think a lot of people fail to realize that Bradley Beal put himself in this situation to begin with. He's the one who signed his extension, and even at the time that he chose to do so, John Wall already suffered a torn Achilles and their roster already looked trash. And if he did that for the sake of the money, I'm not going to hate. Nothing in the NBA is a guarantee, so you have to get your bag while you have the opportunity to do so. But still, we have to be objective and honest here. That team, at best, the best case scenario for them was for Wall to come back the exact same and for them to be a bottom half team in the Eastern Conference. So Beal has to know, he has to have some type of self-awareness to understand that Wizards team is never going to win a championship. And if money, being loyal, and being the man on your team is more important to him, then so be it. Because if you have that mindset, that means a championship isn't your #1 priority, and if it was, he would have been escaped Washington by now. And if I sound over emotional, it's because I hate to see great talent like Bradley Beal and many other great players go to waste over things that really don't mean anything in the long run. If Beal were to suffer some type of injury, they'd trade him on the spot, because these front offices have no loyalty to their players, and it blows my mind when the players have loyalty to them. But that wraps up this video, and before I conclude, I would like to give a shout out to the Overtime Podcast. On that episode, we talked about the Bradley Beal situation, we talked about Lonzo Ball, our all-star predictions, and many other topics on the episode 18 version of the Overtime Podcast. But without further ado, that concludes this video. Make sure you drop a like and comment your opinions down below. I would love to know what you guys think down there. Also, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and push the bell for post notifications. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Y'all stay safe and have a great day. Peace.